What's up? It's Zhavia, and I'm on the Zach Sang Show, and we talked about a lot of lit stuff, so make sure you watch.
Let's do this. Zach Sang Show.
Hello, beautiful human. We got Dan here.
Hello.
And we welcome to the studio, Zhavia Ward.
All right.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You promise me?
Yeah.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying.
How many times a day does somebody say your name wrong?
A lot.
Pull that mic a little bit closer to your face.
A lot.
Wow, you look so cool.
Thanks.
You really do.
Like
Thank you.
you hanging out on the couch, like I'm getting the opportunity to really soak in your presence. It's a lot of little things that make up Zhavia Ward.
Thanks.
You know, but some little, some big. Wow. How do you... Okay. Zhavia is your middle name. You say it with a J, not really like with a Z. How does that work phonetically? How does that... Like, do you know? Like, how do you explain it to somebody when they have to introduce you?
I say okay, it's like Zhavia, like very Jaka, like the J.
Very
Zhavia. Get it?
Yeah.
It's a little easier to say it like that.
Vera Jaka. I haven't heard that in so long. That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vera Jaka, Vera Jaka. Do re mi? Isn't that what follows
No.
it? I don't know.
I don't know that song.
I know nothing about music. Just kidding.
I just know it's French.
Are you French?
Yeah.
Are you actually you're from Norwalk?
Yeah.
I learned a lot about you, not necessarily from the internet, but from 17, which is...
Oh, hey.
Yeah, dude. The title record off of your brand new EP. We're going to dive in a second, but I want to start with A Whole New World. Huge freaking deal, right?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I want to say almost bigger than big because a record like that will live on forever guaranteed. It's already lived on
Yeah.
for decades and it has meaning to almost everybody on the planet. How do you find out that Zayn wants you to be on this record?
Okay, so my manager got an email from Zayn's manager.
Okay.
And basically, Zayn was asking if I would like to sing the girl part of the duet.
Jasmine.
I guess it was his choice to pick who he wanted to sing with. And the fact that he picked me, I was shook. But honored because, he's an amazing artist. And Disney is a huge deal. Like, especially this song, like you said, it's a big part of history. And, when I get older and I have kids, like, I'll be able to play this song for them, so...
It's freaking
awesome.
a whole new world. Why do you think Zayn picked you? Because they said in the release that he could have picked anybody he wanted.
Yeah. I don't know, but I feel like he might have known about me because I know that he was on a show when he was younger.
X Factor.
Yeah, X Factor.
You were on the 4.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe he keeps like up to date with those kind of things.
Ooh.
And maybe like he saw me. I don't know. But yeah. I honestly don't know how like he found out about me, but
Did you record the record separate or together?
Separately.
Is that like hard for you to do?
No, I think that's like the usual when it comes to like recording with other artists. Usually you're not like in the same place as them at the same time. It's really hard to like get 2 artists in the same room. So, it was pretty easy. They played me, I flew to London to record it with the Salt Wives, which were the producers that produced it. And he had already recorded his vocal. So I got to hear his vocal first, and then they're like, okay, it's your turn. So I just went in and sang it.
Do you prepare at all? Is like there a strategy?
There's a lot of preparing. Especially like me, when I travel like on a plane, I usually tend to get sick like every time because, there's a lot of germs in that plane just circulating in the air.
It's a freaking tin can in the sky.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Filled with recycled air.
But yeah, I tend to get sick, so I was expecting for me to get sick. But for some reason, God decided I was not going to get sick.
It's that Disney magic.
Yeah, I know. So I didn't get sick this time. But whenever I record, like I always have to have like this special honey called Manuka honey. I don't know if you've heard of it. Okay.
No.
But it's a miracle worker. I've had shows where like I couldn't even like barely talk, and then I eat some, and then I can talk again.
Wow. Like coats your
It's
throat?
expensive honey. It's like $60.
But worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Do you plan your runs out before you go into the studio? Like, do you listen to the track and go, okay, I can do something here, I can figure out something here? Or do you just feel it when you go behind the mic?
Sometimes I'll listen to the song. So yeah, for example, this song, like I obviously listened to like the older version to, kind of see what they did and their take on it. And then I'll like try to learn it to my best ability. And then I might have some like things in mind that I would like do naturally. Like, I don't know how it is for like all singers, but for me, like if I sing something, I'll tend to like sing the same notes like over and over again. So I kind of already have it in my mind. Like it's just my style, I guess. But and then some stuff is like freestyled in the studio. So it depends.
How much freedom did they give you on this song?
They gave me a lot of freedom. I mean, they had me like, they're like, okay, like sing it a couple times, like, the way that you would sing it. And then now sing it like you're a Disney princess. So, I mean, of course, like I was kind of held back a little bit because I'm an extra person. So I like to go crazy, when it comes to singing. But like for it to be like, for like fans to be able to sing along with it and, for it to flow nicely, like I kind of had to hold back just a little bit. But it still sounds amazing and like I'm still really proud of it. So
is there a difference between Princess Zhavia and just normal Zhavia?
Well, to them, it was just like pronouncing the words more,
Like super clear.
Yeah, super clear. Because when I sing, I'm kind of like mumbly.
Is that like a passion mumble or like an intentional mumble?
It's just like a feeling mumble.
That's it.
Yeah.
When they first approached you, did you already know all the words or did you have to go back and re-listen?
Well, I pretty much knew all the words. I mean, like, of course, here and there's like a few words that I don't know, and I'm like, I just mumble,
Mumble through it,
Yeah, I just mumble through it. Random words like I do to every song, but I mean, of course, I knew like the chorus and like the I think it was like the verses that I needed to like touch upon, but yeah.
Fun fact: the singing voice of Jasmine is also the singing voice of Mulan, and that is her biggest quality. That when she sings, you can hear every syllable and word perfectly.
Yeah.
Like no one's saying runs, but like you make out every single word.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
Well, now, were you nervous for the song to finally come out? Because everyone's just waiting to hear what this sounds like. Plus, it's Zayn.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really nervous. I was more like excited because I knew that like my fans, like I told them that I was doing something really big and that like, something was coming soon. So they were just like, what is it? Like they had no idea. But then when it came out, like they were all shook and did not expect that at all, which I mean, I didn't expect either. So it was just really like exciting for me to see how my fans would react.
Well, this kicks off for you like just release after release because an EP is out now, 17.
Well, the EP's coming out in like a few weeks.
Oh, a few weeks.
But the single 17 is coming out on the 31st.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I get so confused because like for everybody, we record these like ahead of time, so I don't know if it's out or not, or if it's coming out.
Yeah.
Regardless, I listen to it and I want to dive in.
Okay.
17 obviously represents your age. Mm-hmm. The age at which you created the album, or the stories you're telling are from the age of 17?
Well, the story is like, it's like all of the ages up until 17. So like basically in this song, I'm just kind of talking about like my experiences like growing up and like how I got to where I am now, which like for me was a big deal because I wrote a lot of things that my fans never really knew about me and like things that happened like after the 4 and like during the 4. So it was a very like personal song.
I mean, the whole EP to me sounds very personal.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I write all my stuff. So, like, each song is about an experience that I've had or something that I've gone through. So.
Hey, I'm so sorry to do this. Quick ad. A lot of people, by the way, come up to me and they're like, Zach, you look so uninterested when you do the ASU reads. I am interested. I'm very passionate about proper education, which ASU provides. I just got to read all this stuff, so I'm not looking at camera and I get distracted. So, I'm going to tell you something. If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of those questions, Arizona State University could be the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 150 highly ranked degree programs. 100% online, you'll earn that same degree as you would on campus from wherever you are. It's really flexible. You can do it all on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For more information, text Zach to 35517. Put that right there. That is Zach to 35517. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 87% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. See? I am passionate about this. This is real stuff here, guys. It's a great option when it comes to education and schooling. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degree programs, you can text Zach to 35517. That is ZACH to 35517. Are you writing the whole thing on your own? Or are you working with other people?
Well, I do work with a few writers that I work well with. I mean, as an artist, you experiment writing with different people, and some people work for you and some don't. So I have a few writers that I co-wrote with on the EP, but I usually write like all of my stuff. Like, I don't have any songs that I haven't written on. So
how many songs did you have chilling that could have been on the EP that didn't make it?
A lot. I mean, there's probably like, I don't know. I mean, before I went on the 4, I was writing for like a whole year, like straight. Like, I was just like writing like every day. So I had like a lot of songs then, but then like during that process, I kind of like found exactly like my style and what I wanted to do. So I kind of just like scratched all of that, threw it away, threw it behind me. And then, the year after, the year after the 4, I spent every day again, like in the studio just writing. So there's probably like, there might be like 60, 50 songs.
Whoa.
I mean, not all of them are finished,
yeah.
But there's a lot of songs, and like, I had to pick the ones that, stood out the most and that I thought my fans could like relate to the most. So
pre the 4, you're writing every single day. Why do you start that? Do you force yourself to do that?
So let's take it back, all the way back. When I was younger, I would always like write songs, write poems. I would always be singing. I always did like talent shows and stuff whenever I could, to sing and stuff. But then when I got to when I was like 13, I started playing the guitar, started like teaching myself how to play guitar. And then my mom, she worked at a music academy.
Cool.
And one of the vocal coaches there met me, and she was like, I have somebody that would really like you. Like, I sang for her and stuff. And that is my manager now. So his name's Thomas. My manager now. And he had a studio. So I went to his studio. I sang for him. And then from that day on, he was like, okay, I want to be your manager. So we just like, I signed to him to be my manager. And then ever since I met him, I was just like in the studio every day working on an EP. Wow. But obviously that never like got finished because the 4 happened. Yeah. And I wasn't even planning to go on the 4. Like, it wasn't even like in my mind. I just happened to be at the studio the day that they were having like auditions. And my manager was like, you should just like go sing for them. Like, you don't have to audition, like just meet them. Like, it's good to, have connections. I was like, okay, like I'll meet them. So I sang for them, and they really wanted me to be on the show. But like, I was like, I had already made up my mind. Like, I was like, I don't want to go on a show. I'm just going to like do it myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Competition shows have a stigma.
Yeah, exactly. And when I was younger, I did. But as I got older, I just decided that I didn't want to do it. But they just kept reaching out, like kept calling him. So then finally I was like, okay, like I'll just do it. Like I found out like that it was going to be like hip hop and R&B based. So I was like, okay, that's a plus. Like that's what I do. And then I found out like the panel was going to be more relevant.
Great.
Yeah. So I was
judges.
like, okay, and like they're in the hip hop world. So this might be a good opportunity. And my mom was just like, yeah, like you should just do it. Just try it. So obviously I did the show, right?
Changes your life forever.
Yeah. And I mean, it was a crazy experience. It was pretty stressful because like it was a new show, so they didn't really have like a lot of it planned out. Like it was just kind of like we're just going along with everything as it was going. But yeah, it was crazy.
Do you consider yourself further proof that it's better to not win a singing competition show than to win?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I mean, it depends what you want to do with your career as an artist. I feel like me not winning benefited me a lot because I was able to get a deal that was better if I did win. So that helped out a lot. And like, you know, being in the position that I was at the time, like definitely, I don't know how to say it, but it's just like, it picked things up a lot faster than if I were to get the deal if I won.
Who won that show?
I don't know.
Her name's Evie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evie Clear.
I don't
No.
know her last name, but I just know her name's Evie.
Maybe that's somebody I follow on Instagram that has a name that looks like that.
Well, I feel like you're the real winner coming out of
thank,
the show.
Thank you.
What a statement, Dan. No, but like you were the crowd favorite. Like I remember watching. I watched obsessively from the very beginning.
Thank you.
It was a combination of obviously your talent, but your look and who you were and what you represented. Yeah, you hit like 1 million followers on Instagram like real quick. So this guy you meet at this music studio that your mom works at. How old are you when he's like, you should just start writing?
Well, I was writing before that, but it was more like I got to be in a studio with, you know, equipment and all that stuff because I never had that before, obviously. But I was like, well, he met me when I was 15, maybe.
And you do that while you're still going to school?
Yeah. So I actually, I did my last year of school. So I graduated early at 16. So my last year of schooling, I did homeschooling.
Got it.
So it was a lot easier for me to, you know, be like working in the studio and then, you know, do my schoolwork at home.
When you were you writing every day about your reality? Were you inventing stories?
Yeah, every day about my reality. I mean, for me, it's really hard as a writer to write about things that I haven't experienced. Yeah. Like, I know some artists, like, that's the way that they write. Like, for example, Sam Smith, I know he always talks about how he writes songs about things he's never experienced, like love songs and all that kind of stuff. And for him, it works out great because he's just an amazing writer. But for me, I can't really give an emotion or a feeling to something if I haven't felt it. You know what I mean? So, I just write about real stuff.
But you're able to take on covers really well because that was the 4, right? So you're able to like take on somebody else's story and somebody else's lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I mean, I didn't like doing covers. I mean, because, you know, I feel like I have a story to tell and that's important to me. But of course, you know, I had to do that for the show. So for me, it was just kind of like transforming it into something that I can relate to, whether it's like changing the melody a little bit and like that kind of stuff. So I would, just like to put my like own twist on it. And yeah.
So 17 is the record out.
Mm-hmm.
It is the first record off of the EP.
Yeah.
It is based on your reality.
Yeah.
You grew up in Norwalk.
Mm-hmm.
One of the lyrics that really stuck out to me, young girl, you better go fast. This world ain't going to hold back. Is that you talking to yourself? Is that somebody else talking to you?
Yeah. I mean, that's me like talking to myself because, I mean, like growing up, I didn't have it easy, you know. I mean, I kind of grew up like moving around like a lot. Like I mean, I probably moved like 15 plus times. Like I would move like every like half a year. You know what I mean? Like
All within California?
yeah, I was in California. Yeah, I mean like we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so we would just be kind of like living with my mom's friends and all that kind of stuff. And like the time that we were finally like able to get a place, which was in Monrovia, that's when like I started writing. Well, I was kind of like back and forth between my parents, but when we moved to Monrovia, that's when I started writing.
Got it.
And I met my manager and all of that. And in order for me to go on the show, my mom had to quit her job. And so basically like
Because you were a minor.
yeah, I was a minor, so I couldn't go on by myself. Like I couldn't work by myself. So my mom had to quit her job, and my siblings like moved to Oklahoma with my grandma. And like me and my mom didn't have a place to live, but like we were just on the show. Like it was pretty rough, like working like super late. And like when we were on the show, like they pay for a hotel, so like we were staying in the hotel. But after the show, when I didn't win, it was kind of like, what are we gonna do? Because
What's next?
Yeah, what's next? Because I didn't know, like we didn't have no idea what was gonna happen. Like of course we had the faith, like okay, like if I go on the show, something's good's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So after the show, we didn't have nowhere to live. We were just kind of like living off of the money that I made on the show, which I mentioned in the song, which was like $7,000. Like before that, we didn't have no like money to our name, like. But
So $7,000 is a lot, but that goes quick.
It goes quickly when you're paying for a hotel every night, and like trying to, and that was like another thing too. Like it was really hard to find a place to stay, because when you're like trying to book a hotel every night the day of the where you have to sleep, like everything's booked. So like we would just be like driving around for hours trying to find somewhere to stay.
So like there's an intense level of sacrifice here.
Yeah, I mean, my mom's always like believed in me, so, and my family has too. So like they've always been willing to do what we have to do in order for my dreams to come true. And I don't do this for me, like I do it for my family. You know what I mean? So them supporting my dreams and doing whatever they can to make it happen is like, in return I support them. You know what I mean?
Is that pressure? Showing up to the 4 every day, knowing that your siblings have to go live with your grandparents, and
I mean, yeah, it was a crazy roller coaster, because the episode where I got knocked off the show, I was just like, okay, like I mean, I guess I was meant to be knocked off, because I believe that everything happens for a reason. So I was like, okay, like I guess I wasn't supposed to be on the show. But I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll figure it out. Like, and then, they had the comeback, and then I came back on, and.
But you had confidence, though. I feel like you had confidence from the second you stepped out on that stage and you interacted with everybody.
Yeah, I mean.
You knew what you had.
I feel like that's a big part of why I'm here, is because I've always believed in myself, and like, if you can't convince people that you're worth it, then they're never going to believe you. You know what I mean?
I could not feel that in my deepest, like deep within myself.
Yeah.
I feel what you just said.
Yeah.
And as I hear you talk, there is pressure, right? There is sacrifice on behalf of your family. But you take that pressure and you kind of refocus it into confidence.
Yeah.
Because you have the goods. But you got to do something with this opportunity, because so much is at stake.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
you could have crumbled, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I could have, but luckily the show gave me a lot of exposure, and I really tried my best when I was on the show. I was doing everything that I could to just keep going, and that's what it's all about.
And now you have a huge record deal. With Columbia Records, so big that TMZ did a whole story about how big it was. Good money.
Whoa.
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 So has the whole family moved back now, or are they still?
So my whole family, right now they live in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they're all together.
Cool.
Yeah.
Back to my question. young girl, you better go fast. This world ain't gonna hold you back. Is that you reminding yourself of that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's like me motivating myself. And it's also like me speaking to my fans too, because I mean, it's just kind of like motivation for them too, to like, you know, just always like be on the lookout for themselves, because I mean, life's hard, but if you, like I said, if you like believe in yourself and you take control of your life and you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to do this, and that, and, you know, no one's going to stop me, then nothing can stop you.
You say you got to own your life. Mm-hmm. Is that what it means to you? Controlling your destiny?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my whole life, like, I feel like so far, I feel like I've done a good job of controlling my destiny, because, you know, like I said, like, I came from a place where I mean, I'm sure most people wouldn't think that I would ever make it here, but I always believed in myself, and I always knew that like this is what I was meant to do, so I just took it and ran.
Dude, you say that. I knew that I'd make it out. I knew that I'm going to make it out. Like you had that confidence.
Yeah, and like a crazy thing is I told myself the year that I met my manager, I literally told myself, I was like, okay, at the end of the year, like something big's gonna happen, and it's gonna make my career like just blow up. And like I truly believed that, and I didn't even have any idea how. Like, I didn't know how that was gonna happen. Like, you know, I had no like logical explanation for it, but I just put that out into the universe, and then it happened.
You knew, and you saw it, and then it gives you something to work towards. So then you kind of just make it happen.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I mean, as long as you have like, I mean, like I said, you don't have to have like an exact plan, like, oh, okay, I'm going to go on the show, I'm not going to win, and I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to be like, okay, I'm going to fight for like my dreams. I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to work on my craft. I'm going to write songs every day. I'm going to make sure that, you know, I got my style down. I'm going to make sure that I present myself in the way that I want the world to see me, and then, you know, you go from there.
What do you want somebody to take away about you after listening to 17?
I mean, I just want people to take away, you know, some inspiration for their own lives, and just motivation. And, you know, I want them to be able to relate to my story, because I know that, you know, I'm not the only one that goes through this kind of stuff. A lot of people do, like the whole world. So, you know, I want them to look at this song as an example of like, you know, they can make it too in whatever it is that they want to do.
100 Ways, another record off the EP. Mm-hmm. Do you have 100 ways to get it? What is it?
Get it every day? I mean, to get what you want in life, like,
that's it.
What you want for yourself and what you want for the people around you and all of that. So
you have 100 ways to get it?
Yeah.
Will we only really catch you resting in a grave? Do you not sleep?
No, I don't sleep. You see these bags? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I cover with makeup. You can't see it.
Well, they're very pretty bags.
Thanks.
Designer bags.
Designer.
Guaranteed.
Gucci bags.
100 Ways is a great record. I really like Deep Down.
Thank you.
That's an Etta James sample at the top of that, right? Mm-hmm. I'd rather go blind.
Yeah.
Woo.
Deep Down is about like just following your, you know, your heart and what you know inside, like what you know is right. Because sometimes there's going to be things in life or people that may even make you think that what you're doing is, you know, not going to work or not right. And you just got to know, like, deep down in your heart what's best for you. Your gut will always, like, tell you that.
And that's the record. It's like you realizing that. Mm-hmm. It's you kind of documenting this part of your life where you say, like, I didn't know what was real. I didn't even know how I feel.
Yeah.
Because post-4 life, your life does change. And it's like a whirlwind. There's so much going on that's out of your control and things that are in your control.
Yeah.
A record, Deep Down, when did you write it?
I wrote it like probably last year. This is a guess. Maybe like in May? Somewhere around there. Were you in the beginning, or maybe even sooner? Maybe like closer to the beginning of the year.
A record like this, do you write it while you're going through what the song's about, or do you write it after you come out of it? Looking back.
It depends. I mean, it's different for every song, but specifically for this record, I wrote it when I came out of it, kind of reflecting on the whole situation.
Was it weird for you to not know who you were? Like, and because like there's two things hitting you, right? It's the fact that you're now famous because of the 4, but also like, dude, you're hella young. So like, you know, people in their teenage years like live life, and you learn new things about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you figure stuff out. Mm-hmm. Like those two hitting at once is like,
yeah, I mean,
it's a lot going on.
I mean, I feel like every day I'm learning something new about myself, but at the same time, like, I feel like I have a strong, like, sense of who I am and, like, what I want. And I think that's the thing that has gotten me so far, is because, like, you know, I always have, like, I always have a response to something of how I want something. You know what I mean? Like, if I want something this way or that way, like, I know exactly what it is, and I'll tell everybody. You know what I mean? So... yeah.
But that's like the record's also deep down is about accountability too, right? Like, you know, it's written in the stars, but do they lie? It's only up to me to make it right.
Yeah. So that's like kind of like when you're doubting yourself, like I said, because, you know, sometimes people can have an influence on you or things that happen, and you're just like, for example, let's say like, you know, when I got kicked off the show, it's like, you know, like, is this really happening? Like, is this meant to happen? But then you know in your gut, like, okay, it's all good because this is just the next step to where I'm supposed to be, you know?
That's it. Did you hear that, Dan?
I heard it.
Did you lose yourself after the 4?
Did I lose myself?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I might have gone a little crazy. I mean, for a bit when I was trying to figure it all out, because there was, like, a span of, like, a few months, like I said, where we were just kind of like bouncing around, you know, trying to find a place to stay while I was like writing in the studio and stuff. And then like also trying to decide like who I want to sign with, because there was a few record labels that like approached me to sign, but like, you know, I kind of had to think deeply about that because, you know, that's my future.
It's your whole life.
Yeah.
And like it could be easy in that moment to just take like whatever the biggest, shiniest number is or toy is.
Yeah.
Because you have nothing. You just want something.
Yeah, and like they didn't come like right away, like after the show. Like it was like a few months after the show, like they started coming in, because I think well, at least people were telling me like they thought that I was already signed. So nothing was like coming in because I feel like they thought I was already signed, that, you know, like, oh, she's already doing her own thing, right? But I'm like, no, like I'm just over here like
Mama's looking for a home.
Yeah. But like yeah, but then when they started coming in like after a few months, I was like, okay, like this is awesome. Like, you know, I've been blessed with, you know, many choices to pick from, and, you know, I think I made the right one. So
what genre would you put your art in? Like, do you create within a genre?
I mean, I feel like I naturally tend to have like a soulful R&B voice and, you know, a lot of elements of hip hop, but at the same time, I also draw from other inspirations. And, you know, growing up, I listened to a lot of different genres of music, you know, that both of my parents brought to the table. And so I don't really like to put myself in a box and say, like, this is only what I'm going to create, because I feel like every song has a different feeling and every feeling has a different sound. So, you know, the thing with me is, like, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to be something I'm not, or I'm trying to, like, create one thing. Like, you know, I'm just like a creative person that has a lot of different inspirations, and I'm just kind of like a mesh of everything. So, I mean, I just create. It.
There's definitely a little reggae in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, like I just explore, you know. It's art. It's fun, you know what I mean? It's not supposed to be like you do that, you do this. I mean, I know some people are like that, but me, no.
Do you, when you're in the studio, do you want somebody to kind of lead the way in terms of production, or?
It depends. I mean, if I come in with something that I already wrote, and like, I'm looking for a certain type of sound or a certain instrument, then I'll tell them. Usually, like, when I go in the studio, producers will already have, like, a bunch of, beats that they've made.
Yeah.
And they'll just kind of play me through them all. And if I really love one and I can, like, hear, like, melodies to it and I have, like, a vibe already, then I'll just go with that. But sometimes I'll be like, okay, can you make, a song with, like, violins, or can you make it like this? Can you make the drums go like that? So, I mean, I'm very hands-on, like, when it comes to, like, the whole process of, like, writing, whether it's production and all that.
Is there I don't know, like, is there a part that stimulates you more, that you enjoy the most, that you find the most challenging? And maybe enjoy and challenge are one and the same, or maybe not.
I feel like it's a challenge itself just to write a song. I mean, it depends how you're feeling. Sometimes you have something on your mind and it'll, just flow out easily. But sometimes you're like, what do I write about today? And you kind of have to dig deep inside, but then, you find your groove. But yeah.
Hey, beautiful human, sorry for the interruption, but Dan can't stop talking about his cats.
I love cats so much.
Dan Catman Zola.
That's what they call me.
Yeah, it is. Because you're obsessed with your cats.
I really am. I love cats. I love everything about them.
You love these animals deeper than anybody else I've ever met.
Yeah, they get so happy they start purring, and then they get their little heads and they rub it against your head, and you scratch their butt and they stick their little booties in the air.
Is there anything you hate about owning a cat?
Changing the litter box, it's awful.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's so dusty.
That's where they go potty.
Yeah.
But that is also why Arm & Hammer created new cloud control litter. You should try it. We can definitely get you some. There's no cloud of nasties when you scoop. It's 100% dust-free, free of heavy perfumes, and helps you reduce airborne dander from scooping. So what happens in the litter box stays in the litter box.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Your dreams are now coming true, Dan. New cloud control cat litter by Arm & Hammer. More power to you. Okay, back to the convo. Do you take notes? Do you diary? Journal?
Yeah, I have lots of notes, like, in my phone, like, even sometimes, like, I'll just think of, like, a word, and I'm like, wow, like, I'll be like, that's a cool word, like, maybe that can, like, inspire a song, so I'll just, like, write it down, or, like, I'll think of, like, a few lyrics, so it just depends. I mean, I'm always, like, writing down or recording, like, melodies that I have that just come off the top.
Do you still have the first song you ever wrote?
The first song I ever wrote?
Yeah.
I don't, but my dad did mention to me that, like, he came across some, like songs I wrote, like, on paper when I was younger. And honestly, I was like, what the hell? Like, did I write that? Because it was so weird. Like, I was just, like, I was writing about some mature stuff, but it was just, like, I didn't even, like, think that I would write that. Like, looking at it now, I'm just, like, I don't think I wrote that. Like, what?
Was it like made up? Was it real?
Yeah, it was just like about like I don't know why. I was, like, writing about, like, my dad, like, being sad. Like, I wrote a song about him being a sad, lonely man, which is really right. Like, what is that?
Deep.
Like, your 9-year-old daughter is writing a song about you,
Sending you a clear message, sir.
sending you a clean message. But
Whoa.
it was just funny to see that. I was just like, what is that?
So it's your observations.
Yeah, observations.
And
yeah.
the energy you're feeling.
Yeah.
What was going on when you wrote Candlelight? Because you start out by saying dark space. I'm slipping into dangerous ways.
Yeah, so I actually wrote that song about, like, a time in my life, which was, like, a long time ago. But I wrote the song, like, years later from, like, the event. But, like, basically it was just kind of like a time in my life where I felt very hopeless, and, like, I felt like I was kind of trapped in, like a mind space, and, like, I couldn't really, like, do anything. I was just, like, depressed. I didn't really see a lot of opportunities, presenting themselves. And sometimes when that happens, it's really easy for you to just feel like you don't want to do anything and just be really negative about everything, For me, that was a really hard time because my whole life I've always been so positive and, like, optimistic about everything, that I've experienced. So it just kind of was a time where I felt like I might not make it as a singer. And for me to feel like that was like bringing me down. So I wrote a song about it because, you know, I know a lot of my fans probably feel like that all the time. I mean, even sometimes, you know, I feel down, and you just got to remind yourself that, like, it's kind of up to you and the way that you see the world, because if you're telling yourself that there's not opportunities and you're just, you know, bringing yourself even more lower than you already are, then you're never going to, like, be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You always have to think about the good things and, you know, the future. Like, planning for the future is, like, a big thing that I've always, like, stressed about, you know?
So do you write Candlelight while you're going through this? Do you write it looking back at it?
I wrote it looking back at it. Yeah, I had okay, I know it's really confusing, but I wrote the first version of Candlelight 2 years ago. And I wrote that on my guitar. Like, I was like emo, you know, turn off the lights and play my guitar in the dark and just, like, sing out my heart. Like, you know, making up all the lyrics, like, as I go. And then, well, last year, I like saw it in, like, my notes, and I was like, oh, like, I should probably rewrite this, you know, in a way that's, like, more consistent with my style now. Yeah. And I rewrote a lot of the lyrics, but I kept the concept of the Candlelight, which was in the original. And, you know, at the time, like, when I rewrote it, I was just kind of thinking about, like, also, like, all of the things that, you know, was going on in the world. Like, for example, the time that I wrote it, there was, like, a lot of shootings going on, like, at the schools and stuff. And so my lyric, like, it says, I don't want to run from a bullet, gotta keep my candlelight burning, right? Yeah. So those are the lyrics. And, like, I was just kind of thinking about, like, all the kids that are having to go through this time where, like, they're just running in fear, you know, whether it be in real life or, you know, in their minds, they're too afraid to do something. They're too, you know, people are telling them they can't do something. So basically it was just saying, like, I don't want to run from fear anymore. I just want to face it head on. And, you know, I got to keep my light burning and stay positive. So that's what it was about.
So the record starts for you in a really dark time.
Yeah.
And then you rework it around another dark moment in really our history. Not just yours.
Yeah, because I really wanted it to be, like, relatable for everybody. And so, you know, the way that I can relate to it is, like I said, when I felt like there was no hope for me as an artist. But I know that a lot of kids can relate to it with, you know, the shootings going on. And it's a really crazy thing to think that, like, you know, it's become like a trend almost, you know, for people to commit these things that are horrible. And, you know, these innocent kids that are just trying to learn, you know, and have a future to go through that, you know. So
we must fix it. And somebody might be watching and you might be like, how do we fix it? It's really easy. We elect selfless civil servants. Selfless civil servants. People who do not take millions upon millions upon millions of dollars from the NRA. These politicians are getting paid a ton of money by groups like the NRA to swing laws in their favor. These are politicians that will not send their kids to the public schools in their district. They're utilizing the money that they're getting from the NRA to send their kids to private school when essentially that same money is being used to murder kids at the public school in a lot of these politicians' districts. Selfless civil servants. That is the only way we end this corruption.
I mean, and I feel like a lot of it, too, is, like, mental health.
Yeah, I
feel
agree.
like there needs to be a lot more programs for the youth because, you know, I mean, life is hard, you know, it's hard for everybody, and
there shouldn't be a stigma around mental health.
Yeah.
And a part of, you know, electing selfless civil servants, hopefully this will bring open-minded people into the political sphere. So when it comes down to education and what goes on in the school, we're not stigmatizing mental health. we're looking to heal it and creating
Yeah.
a space where people feel open to be
Yeah.
vulnerable and speak and comfortable to share who they really are.
Yeah.
It really it starts. I hate to say it, but it starts at the top. Whoa. Thanks for bringing that subject up. I never get a chance to talk about it.
Of course.
It's very important, and I think
Yeah, it is.
it goes forgotten sometimes. Candlelight, beautiful record. Zhavia Award,
Thank you.
no real Z. Zhavia, say it, Dan.
Zhavia.
Zhavia.
I know how to say it. It's Zhavia. I don't know if you do. I think you're saying it a little wrong.
Zhavia.
Wait, you said you started 2 new tattoos. What'd you start?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Whoa. I can't really show you this one because I'm wearing a bodysuit. So.
Okay.
But
Naturally.
I got West Coast tatted right here.
Okay. Right across your
here.
stomach?
Yeah. It's pretty lit. Because I'll tell you right now. Let me just get some water. The reason I got it is because I've been doing a lot of traveling.
Pull that thing closer to you, yeah? And what?
I've been doing a lot of traveling. And you know, I used to think like, oh, I mean, okay, I do love traveling, but I used to think like before, you know, I never traveled to like anywhere. I was like, oh my God, traveling is going to be the best thing in the world, like this and that. And now that I do it like all the time, I'm just like, there's nothing like home. Like the West Coast is just the best food. Like the people are awesome and the weather's awesome. Like everything's just good. So the West Coast.
Obviously.
I gotta represent it, you know, with it on my body.
Yeah.
In big letters.
That's like quite a statement.
Yeah. And then the second tattoo I started is this one on my neck.
Is that spiderweb?
Yes, this is spider web. This we just did like the outline because we kind of got started on it like pretty late, so I was already tired by then. But it's gonna be like finished probably within like the next month or so. So yeah.
Are you going for a full bodysuit? I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty, yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the only place I probably won't get, I mean, okay, we'll see, is my back. I might not get my back tattooed because I'm just really sensitive and like I feel like that'll hurt so bad. Like,
How old were you?
I don't know if I'm down to do that.
How old were you when you got your first tattoo?
I was 16.
What'd you get? What was first?
The rose on my hand.
I can't believe you went straight to the hands.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, listen, first of all, like, I know some people are like, oh, don't get tattoos when you're young because you don't know what you're going to do, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I already know what I'm going to do. Like, I'm working on my career. I'm already here. Like, if I get a tattoo, I'll be all right. You know what I mean? So, I went for the hand because I was like, eventually I'm going to be covered all over. So
you knew.
Yeah, I knew. And, like, I wear long sleeve shirts mostly. Like, I don't really like wearing short sleeves. So I was like, okay, it has to show, you know? So I'm just like,
Why do you want to cover your entire body with tattoos?
oh, because I just really love art. I mean, I've always been obsessed with tattoos, like, ever since I was, like, in elementary school. Like, I literally have drawings that I drew of myself with tattoos, like, all over me. And, like, I mean, for me, it's just, like, you know, a form of self-expression. And, I mean, not every tattoo has to have a meaning, but a lot of mine do, so.
It shows commitment.
Yeah.
Tattoos are permanent.
Yes.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, me, like, as a person, like, when I know I want something, like, I want it and I don't regret it. So with tattoos, like, it's pretty easy for me to just, like, keep getting them because I'm just like, this is what I want.
Do you make quick decisions when it comes to something you want?
I mean, it depends what it is. Like, I know it's important to take your time sometimes when it comes to making a decision, which I do when I need to. But
is a tattoo something that deserves time?
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I've had like what, I don't know, like 10 years of thinking about it. So, I mean, these have been well thought out. Like, you know, a lot of the tattoos I have, like I wanted since I was like a kid. So, you know, I'm just fulfilling all the goals on the checklist.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
West Coast, right over.
West Coast.
Right across your belly button?
Yeah.
Wow.
It covers my belly button, which
Is
I'm
it
kind
like
of sad about.
Is it like a Tupac one or like a Tupac Thug Life one, or is it?
It's more like, I mean, let me see if I have a photo. Hold on.
Wow.
I have a phone.
Cool pants, by the way.
Thanks.
Look at all those little bungee cords.
It took a while to get these in the mail. I'll tell you that. I had to freaking hunt it down. I had to go to all the post offices and be like, yo, where's my package? Because they never knock on my door. They just leave.
And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's you who needed the bungee cord pants.
Yeah, exactly.
And the mail guys
But I've
in
been
the
I've been
back
getting
trying
them
them
caught
on.
on a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, there's so many hoops.
Yeah.
So many hoops.
I know there was a.
But perfect for the summer, you know?
Those are the perfect summer pants.
Wear those to strap you down to the roof of the car.
the good roof of the car.
Any way to take on a road trip.
While you're looking, I do
Yeah,
have a
while I'm
question.
looking.
It seems like the internet really wants you to work with Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah, I see that. I see
Yeah.
that a lot.
Do you know her? Have you talked about it? Thought about it?
You know what's funny? Okay, so we were both at Post Malone's show at the Hollywood Bowl, and I was like taking a picture with like one of my fans, and then I see her like walk by me really fast, and she like kind of taps me. She's like, I forgot what she said. She said something like, "Oh, you're dope" or something, and I was just like, "Oh, thanks." Like I didn't really like, because I was taking a photo with my fan, so I didn't really have time to like talk to her. But like I just saw her kind of like pass by, and then my boyfriend was like, "Oh, that's Billie Eilish," and I was like, "Oh, Billie Eilish? Like I think I've heard of her. I know she did Ocean Eyes, which was a really beautiful song. She has a really like soft, beautiful voice. But I'm really liking the style that she's taking it to now, which is like a little more electronic and a little darker. So yeah, I mean she's really cool. Like I would love to collaborate with her. She has an awesome sense of like style, and she's always fitted every day, shoes to the head.
She's always
head to the toes. What is it called? Head to the toes.
head to toe. Wow.
Yeah.
You and Post.
But I do see that a lot. Like
Yeah.
my fans do comment that a lot. I see it.
But like you just said fitted. When I was growing up, it was like you're never fully dressed without a smile.
Oh my gosh.
But now, like, what is fitted?
I mean, I guess I'm dressed every day if I just smile.
That's it. Come on.
You and Post Malone would be a cool collab too.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that too. I mean, I'm a huge fan of him. Ever since like day one. I mean, he's just dope. Again, he has good style. Okay, everybody has good style, just tends to be like good at singing or rapping, whatever you want to call it.
I wonder what came first. But maybe it's like the artistic expression that just
Yeah,
has
I
to
guess.
shine through in all
That's
aspects
true.
of life.
That's true.
Would you get a face tattoo?
Come on. Come
Yes?
on. Yeah, of course. What do you mean?
I'm just wondering how much time do you need to make that decision?
Like I said, I wanted face tattoos before it was like a trend, because now it's a trend. So like now I'm kind of like, okay, I might wait like a year or two when
Got it.
everybody stops getting them, because I don't know. I just don't want it to be like,
You want it to have impact.
I want it to be like taken seriously. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
it can't just be like, she's got a face tattoo. Like
Another one.
What'd she do to her face? Like,
She's just like the rest of them now.
You can't do that.
but I mean, I'll tell you what I want. Like,
What?
I want to get. Oh, I'll wait till I set this down. I want to get an umbrella right here. Okay, I want to get an umbrella because it just has like the rain has a lot of memories for me, so I love the rain. And then I wanted to get like blessed right here, but in like a really detailed font.
Oh, like Helvetica,
I don't know.
Arial font,
I've
Comic Sans.
Let me show you the tattoo because I didn't even show you it. Okay, I didn't get a picture when it was done, like being tattooed, but
This is
do you want
West
me to walk
Coast.
over there and show you?
Ollie will grab it.
Okay. This is the drawing when he drew it on.
Thank you, video.
Because he
Ollie.
hand drew it on my like stomach.
Whoa.
They're like, whoa.
Yo,
that's just the drawing. That's not the tattoo. Because
That-
after, like, it's in black ink, but that's, yeah.
So that's definitely much bigger than.
You thought, right?
Yes.
That
Whoa.
is.
And let me tell you, that hurt. That hurt really bad. It was probably one of the most painful tattoos I have. Like, honestly, it was more painful than like my knuckles.
You
And I think it's because I'm skinny. Like,
How long did that take?
not that long because he only outlined it. So right now I just have like the outline, but it was probably like, I want to say 2-3 hours.
Oh, it's big. Are you gonna get it filled in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to get it filled in. So it's going to be crazy.
I'm just imagining my body with that same tattoo.
It wouldn't come across the same
It
way.
would look like it was on a wave. Like it would look like it was like drawn over a bumpy mountain.
like it's melting off a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
Now, do you plan on getting any Aladdin-inspired tattoos? That's a big
Oh
moment
my
in your life.
gosh.
Yo, a whole new world across both eyebrows.
You know what? That's a really good point. I mean, I usually do get a tattoo for every song that I've done.
It's a big
like,
song.
I don't know if you guys know, but I have. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, so I have 100 ways, 100 tally marks for 100 ways.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I mean, I was pretty proud of that concept. All right, the 100 tally marks, I thought it was pretty unique. And then I got Easy because that's another song on the EP. And then I have a candle on my finger. I don't know if you can see it from that far, but I have a candle. So that's 3 of my songs. And then I don't have one for Deep Down or 17 yet, but I am gonna get one for 17.
What are you gonna get?
And if you want a little sneak peek into the music video, I'm gonna be getting tattooed in the music video.
Cool.
And I'm gonna get a tattoo for like the song, but I'm not sure what I want to get yet. I'm trying to decide like if I want a 17 or if I want something for Norwalk or what, but we'll see.
Well, you got West Coast, you know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll get the number, but I'm not sure.
Norwalk Pride.
Yeah.
I think like a genie bottle or a carpet.
A
A genie bottle? It's called a lamp.
Oh, genie lamp. That's it. Sorry, I was thinking
genie
Christina.
lamp?
I was thinking Christina Aguilera, but
I know you were.
she's in a bottle though, and she said,
Oh, she is a genie in a bottle.
bottle.
That's weird though. Why would she call it a bottle?
Gotta rub me the right way.
Oh my.
So true. True lyrics. Zhavia Ward.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
Dan.
Were you a One Direction fan growing up?
Oh, of course I was.
Okay, great. Me too.
Of course I was.
You still are.
I'm the biggest One Direction fan. I love them.
We all are.
Yeah.
They deserve
mean-
to be loved,
They have all the bops.
They sure do.
and they still do.
They still do.
I love Zayn.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Was the first time you met at the premiere, or did you meet before?
No, I met before.
Okay.
Yeah, at the video.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. You did shoot one of those.
What was that like?
It was very cold.
Did somebody like brief you? Was somebody like, don't look him in the eyes?
Wait, what do you mean?
You know, like don't look directly at him. Look to
Oh
the
no,
left
I was
of
talking
him?
about the weather. The weather was cold.
Oh,
It was 40 degrees and I was in a silk dress.
it's a look.
Yeah, well, I would like to see you try that.
I don't think you do.
I'm not gonna lie, I have way more body fat on me, so I think I have the perfect body
Wait, can
shape
you
to deal with that
recreate the
weather.
music video?
Yes, you don't even need to hire Zayn. You can hire a lookalike.
Oh my gosh.
We can get Joe Roselli to play Aladdin.
Who's that?
That's funny.
Who's that? The guy in the back.
Oh, is that your last name? Okay, got
Jesus,
it.
Dan, that's so rude of you.
I don't know. I don't think he knows my last name.
Of course,
No, yeah.
Dan, you're famous. Wow. The
Wow.
Zayn, I'm down to recreate that music video. But were you nervous meeting him for the first time?
I mean a little bit. Yeah, I mean I've met a couple celebrities, so you know.
Do you make small talk?
Do I make small talk?
Yeah, like what was the talk that was small?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're both pretty shy, so it's just kind of like, what's up? What's up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Sounds
I'm
awful.
pretty weird. I'm pretty weird. Like, whenever I meet like artists, like, I don't know. I don't really like go into like, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
just like, what's up? Like, casual, you know.
Yeah, you're not gonna sniff their butt.
Yeah.
Well, I would hope not.
You're not a dog. Yeah, I get that. You know, you want to be cool, but like I'm also picturing you going, sup, and he goes, sup. And then that's it.
So let's do this.
Pretty much.
Let's lip sync to this song together.
Yeah.
Wait, when you do a music video like that, do you actually sing it? Or are you just moving your
Well, you can lip sync, but I actually sing it because if I lip sync, like, it's not going to look
real?
like I'm singing it, like, because I make like certain facial expressions when I'm singing, so like you want it to, you know, match the song. Like if I'm singing like a really loud like high note, like I need to look like I'm struggling. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I just need to look like I'm singing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
Well, are you done?
The passion.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I guess I
passion
can
is-
ask one more.
We don't really need it.
He's like,
though.
I think I got another one.
Passion is key. Remember that.
I don't know. People find her hair very fascinating. Are you gonna grow that down as long as you can go?
Yeah, I'll probably have them until I die. So
Did those form out of fashion, or did you just forget to shower?
I mean, I always like wanted dreads when I was younger because, I mean, I never really knew what to do with my hair. Like, I never really like styled it. You know what I mean? So it just was like a free flowing like way that I could express myself like through my hair. You know what I mean? So and I just feel like it suits me really well.
It's
So,
beautiful.
Thank you.
I think dreadlocks on all heads, beautiful.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful hairstyle.
It is.
I wish I could grow little dreads.
You could.
But like can I?
Zach's gonna get dreads, get stomach tattoos.
Oh my god.
Start trying to beat you.
Yeah. Come back next
Some
year.
piercings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some real changes to myself.
All right. Well, we'll see how it looks.
# home improvement. Giddy up.
All right.
Zhavia Award, everybody.
Thank you.
17 is the single. Is there a date for the EP?
It's like June 14th.
June 14th.
It's like June 14th.
I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.